Okay, hello everybody. Cheers from CODESYS headquarters in Kempten, Germany. My name is Jens. I'm going to show you the new letter editor. But before we start with the letter editor, let me do a quick introduction about our development unit. So I joined CODESYS 17 years ago and working for the automation platform team. So I was number 2 on the automation platform team. So it was a team when I started there. So we were 2 guys there. And today it's called desktop platforms. And here in desktop platforms, we do a variety of things here. First of all, we are developing and maintaining our IEC editors in CODESYS. So all of the IEC editing implementation is done in our editors. It's structured text, FBD, and FBD is coupled with the existing letter editor. So it's one package. And then the new letter editor, LD2, has been added this year to our portfolio. And we also develop and maintain the CFC and the SFC editors. So we have a lot of things to do here around the IC editing implementation. And that's one of our main topics here. On top of the IEC editors, we also provide basic infrastructure for the whole CODESYS development environment. Things like the main UI window is maintained by us, and we also implement find and replace functionality. We do printing, online help, context-sensitive help. All of these infrastructural things are in our development unit. On top of this, we do the online functionality, the communication to the controller, download of the application, starting, stopping, downloading files, and also monitoring is done in our team. Then we have 2 additional big areas where we are doing the implementation. It's security features and safety features as well. And for the security features, it's something like certificate handling for the controller or certificate handling for the project users. And we have we maintain the encryption services. And 2 years ago, we started, we taken over the safety feature, SEAL3 extension, safety extension. We took over from a different team. The last release was 2012 of this software package for SEAL3, and now we took over the new development, and we were happy that we were able to release new features and a new version in August this year. So it's been some time, 12 years between the releases, but I think we will have more frequent releases right now. We are targeting end of December for the next release for the safety extension. So stay tuned. The last bullet point here is about the CODESYS installer. The CODESYS installer is this is a separate process that's running on your computer when CODESYS is not running, and it lets you install and deploy additional functionality or manage versions and add new features. Yeah, that's basically our portfolio, what we do in our development unit. All right. So let's focus on the CODESYS letter editor, the new one. It's a completely new development that we started 2 years ago, and it's a separate add-on that you can install, and it's been released in February this year. So that was version number 1. The next release is by the end of October or start of November this year, and we'll have some more features. And I'll have a prototype of this forthcoming release on my PC, and I will show you some things that we can do there later on. So this new add-on is an integral part of CODESYS. So when you grab CODESYS on the store and you download the big installation package, the new letter will be part of this installation. So you don't have to actually look for this add-on yourself, but you can just install the whole big CODESYS setup, and the new letter will be in there, part of this set. So it's a standalone editor. It has no relationship to the existing letter that we have. It's a new development from scratch, and we call it on the UI, it's called LD2, in contrast to the existing letter editor that's just called LD. And we just call it letter 2 or the new letter. And but on the UI, you can find it with the string LD2. So why did we do this? Because there is an existing letter editor. Why add a new one on top of this? We wanted to have a better user experience, and especially when it comes for programming with parallel branches or closed branches, it was very cumbersome on using the existing letter, and the workflow was complicated. So we focused on an easy way to create parallel branches and to work with them, to play with them, to make it easy. And the existing letter was a mixture between function block diagram and letter, and the data structures were in fact FBD data structures. So when we wanted to display it in a letter form, we had some things that didn't work well. So it was a real burden because we had this legacy FBD conversion that we had to deal with. So we wanted to get rid of this limitation and added an letter-centric data model without compromise. When we designed the UI, we also had in mind that we wanted to add it to the new CODESYS Go software. CODESYS Go is CODESYS in a browser. It's independent from CODESYS that you install on the desktop, but we did several architectural we designed the new letter so that the UI can easily be adapted and added to the CODESYS Go in form of a web page. So that was also very important during the development. So, and another thing that we wanted to do, that we want a high test coverage. So then when we add new features to the new letter, that we are also sure that we don't break existing functionality. So the development was test driven, in C#, and we have very high test coverage and a good feeling, so we can add new features and when we don't break existing features. And in the old ladder, it was not always that way. It was sometimes we added a feature to function block diagram and then it broke something else in the ladder because of the close relationship. However, to combine both worlds or both ladder editors, they can be supported side by side, and we can convert the existing ladder diagrams to the new ladder. So that's also, you can convert from your existing projects and move your code to the new ladder and benefit from the new look and feel, the better usability. And I saw in Paul's very nice presentation that the Rockwell to CODESYS converter also uses this new ladder. So Paul did the good thing, you converting to the new ladder, ignoring the old existing ladder. Yeah. Right. That was the motivation. And now I would like to show you the new ladder in action. How is it working? How is the look and feel? So for this, I have CODESYS running here. It's a very simple project. There's no ladder right here inside. And I'll start there by adding a POU here. And here in the POU view, you see you can check if it's a program or a function block or if it's a function itself. And what we want to do is adding a function block and choosing the implementation language ladder 2. And here in the drop down, you see the big difference. Here is the old existing ladder logic diagram, while this is the one that you should choose if you are using the new ladder 2. So we have a very, there are not a lot of items in the toolbox compared to the old ladder, because we have a lot of things that you can do dynamically when in the editor itself. So you don't need the toolbox for the whole functionality. The easiest way to start is, of course, you drag and drop here a contact on the editor. Then, of course, you can use the input assistant to have a variable declared here on top automatically. Of course, you can also insert a contact here by the context menu and define this one also. But we also we focused also on keyboard support. So let me put my mouse here. I park it on the left-hand side here, and now I'm just programming with my keyboard. So I hope the mouse doesn't move on its own. I'll do some programming by keyboard. Okay, so let's say we want to add a block. I'm in the wrong pane here. Let me just click here once in the editor. Now I can move around. I want to add a block below these two contacts. I can move the cursor here and use the shortcut Control B for adding a new block. Then I can directly add here the type of block that I want to use. Let's say we want to have an AND here, and I want to have a variable C, and yeah, keep it that way. And then let's go up in the hierarchy to the top rung here, and we move to the end here, and maybe we add another block here. So you see we have another block. Let's say it's an OR this time. I can, of course, I can move here and assign a new variable. And then let's say we want to create a new parallel branch here below the OR so that we can add a new contact below the OR. And all I have to click here is Control K for new contact. Well, it works in German because contact is written with a K. But it's the old shortcut from the existing letter, so it's not a new shortcut. If you're switching from LD to LD2, it should work out of the box for you. And of course, we can assign a new variable here. And then, of course, we need a coil here at the end. The coil is added by Control A. Now I have a coil. I can assign a result variable. And so I put up a short letter here just by moving around with the keyboard and hitting the space bar for changing the labels. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to have your plan, maybe your letter logic on a piece of paper on the right-hand side, and you just do the programming with the keyboard following the plan that you have. What we don't support right now is we have no command shortcut for closing branches here. So if you want to close this branch, you have to use the mouse and drag it over here. And we still have to find a way or to find a nice command how we can add this. Now you see we have here, maybe we want to connect this block to this block with this output here to this input. And you see it's not possible because it would overlap here, or it will cross this parallel branch here. So what we added in the new version, it will be available soon. It's not available in the current version, but in the future version, 1.1, you can select two variables here, just one input and one output each, and you click on the context and link them via variable. This opens a small dialog, and this is the default proposal for the variable name. You can change it, of course. I'll keep it here for the example. And it guesses the best matching type. Auto selects the matching type here. Of course, if you connect an integer to a bool, it will use, I think it will use the bool because that's the input type. So clicking here, OK, will link the variables, will link the two blocks with a new variable that was added here automatically. Now let's say we want to connect this one here with this one over there. And I forgot, I need a variable here. So one of them has a predefined variable. Then I can connect them with the same dialog. And you see I get this one as a proposal to use. Of course, I can change it. And then you see the X got declared here automatically, and we have linked them up here correctly. So what else can we do here? We can provide a title, and we can add a comment. And of course, we change here the zoom factor by clicking here, but we can also use the control and the mouse wheel to do the zooming here. Copy and paste, of course, works. So the basic infrastructure of a letter editor is in place. When we want to go online, let's try it. So this is my simulation device here on my PC. I have to download the application. And I think it will not work because I have the wrong name. Yes, I chose the wrong name here. So I have to adapt my... It should be LDPOU. Oh, okay. You see, I'm a pro programmer. All right, now it should work. Okay, now we are in the online mode. The application is stopped right now. We have monitoring here, and when I start, we can see the flow. This one is not connected, so it doesn't have any effect. We can write here variables, is for example by clicking the space button, space key, and now we wrote the value here. Of course, we can also do it here, prepare the value here, and then you can see how the blue monitoring lines are displayed for the logic that is passed. This one is false, but due to this shortcut, it's also displayed in a blue color. So it does make, this is not, this is blue, although this is false, of course. We can do breakpoints here by pressing the F9 button here. And so the basic functionality of all our editors is incorporated into this new letter editor. All right, what else do we have? We have the conversion of the of the existing letter can be done easily. Let me show you here in the POU view. I do have an old letter POU, and when you put them side by side, you see the difference. So the easiest way to see if it's the old or the new one is just looking at the edges here of the connection. So in the old one, they are what's it called? Rectangular. And here it's bent. It has a round corner. So that's the easiest way. If you see a screenshot or something, you can judge by the connection here. And the existing ladder is designed in a way that the layout is going down, so it's not optimized for wide screens. So the new ladder editor is more optimized for wider screens. And let me just make a quick screenshot that we can compare it here. So this is the existing ladder, and now I do the conversion. We just click here and the context menu and hit the convert to new ladder button. And you see this is the conversion to the new ladder. And when we compare it, you see the layout is different. It tries to use more space to the right because our monitors tend to be more wide and not so high. The conversion is going, of course, it's just going into one direction. You can convert old into new, but not the way back, because we don't want to that's not the use case that we have in mind, that you go back to the old ladder editor. If you have several letters here, you could multi-select them and just hit with the multi-selection. You could trigger the same command, and again, it will automatically convert all of the old letters to the new letter in one go. And you will have a message indicating how many objects were converted. Okay. So basically that was the overview for the new letter editor.